News First Weekend with Sonali Wanikabatuke.
It's the 8th of January 2012. Good evening and welcome to Primetime Weekend News. It's great to have you with us. First up, here's a look at your top stories making headlines tonight. "2,600 years mark since Lord Buddha's first visit to Sri Lanka. All faculties at Sri Jayawardenepura University except for the medical faculty closed. Medical faculty at Gujarat University becomes prohibited zone. Person remanded for falling vehicle of Sunday leader journalist Frederica Jans. The latest survey reveals that 88% of low-income earners in Sri Lanka use mobile phones. Thousands of mourners attend a funeral in memory of the 26 victims killed in a bomb attack in Damascus. On to the stories in detail now. Today marks Duruthu full moon Poya. 2,600 years ago, it was on a day like this that Lord Buddha paid his first visit to Sri Lanka.
This day marks the Buddha's visit to Mahyanganaya 9 months after attaining enlightenment, forcing dissension between the Yaksha and Naga tribes. Lord Buddha, who visited Mahyanganaya, preached to the tribesmen of Yaksha and Naga. It is believed that God Saman had placed a lock of hair given to him by the Lord Buddha and erected the Mahyanganaya stupa. It was on a day like this that the three brothers, known as Thunbad Jatila, embraced the Buddhist philosophy. Many religious events were organized in line with the Duruthu Poya in temples around the country, including in Mahyanganaya. During this time period where we commemorate the Samma Sambuddhatva Jayanti, we should act in a religious manner, act in a just and peaceful manner, determined to develop your state of life to a more peaceful and better life.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa engaged in several religious observances in Mahyanganaya today.
The head of state, who arrived at the Mahyanganaya Rajamahawihara premises, called on the chief incumbent and thereafter engaged in religious observances presided by the Mahanayaka of the Askiru chapter. Books regarding the Mahyanganaya Rajamahawihara were presented to the president. President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who then arrived at the Mahasaman Devalaya in Mahyanganaya, participated in religious observances. The head of state presented arms to the Mahasangha at the Dutugamlu Resting Hall in Mahyanganaya. Several religious observances were organized throughout the day to mark 2,600 years since Lord Buddha arrived in Mahyanganaya.
Dara Vijay Tilaka, who is the chairperson of the committee appointed by the President to inquire into the GCE Advanced Level Examination results, says that the committee has begun reviewing the data that was gathered. She said the committee, which met today, had obtained statements from students and other parties.
Dara Vijayatilaka said that based on the information gathered from students, there are sufficient facts to comprehend the nature of the problems that have cropped up. The final report, consisting of the recommendations that have been made regarding the GCE Advanced Level Examination results, is to be handed over to the President next week. However, several parties have expressed views regarding the A-level results crisis.
The professor who formulated the Z-score itself says that there is a problem and that there is a problem with the way it was formulated. Several issues have cropped up regarding this. Professor Tatil's name was not included in the committee appointed to inquire about the advanced level examination results. There is a problem as to why Professor Tatil's name was not included in the expert committee. The secretary to the Ministry of Education, Sunil Navaratna, said that there is a personal problem between Professor Tatil and the examinations commissioner. That is why he was not included in the committee. These are very humorous stories. I think even that is politicized. We are asking why Professor Tatil, who made the Z-score, was not included. That is why we are saying that the results should be immediately annulled. Children are taught about the policies of various visionaries, but the exam papers in our country had questions regarding the Mahinda Chintanaya. This is a work of the Department of Examinations and the Ministry of Education. It is not surprising that such a low standard can be seen in examinations conducted by the Ministry of Education. Up to now, no student, principal or any other responsible educator have complained to me that there was a fault with the results of the GCE advanced level examinations. For the first time in Sri Lanka, 70% have requested for recorrection. I saw the Minister of Education stating at a media briefing that not a single child had complained, but 70% have. Therefore, why can't the government take a policy decision? Why can't they set aside their arrogance in order to take a policy decision for a recorrection? Now there is a Department of Examinations which has lost all its respect.
We are facing a period where the crisis in higher education in the country are constantly on the rise. The discussion and debate which followed the chaos surrounding the results of the concluded GCE advanced level examinations has escalated to a point where universities are being closed down. 2 of the 15 universities in the island are in a state of conflict. All faculties at the Sri Jayawardhanapura University have been closed except for the medical faculty, while the medical faculty at the Rajarata University has become a prohibited zone for students.
All faculties of the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, except for the Faculty of Medicine, were temporarily closed today. Proctor of the university, M.W. Jasundara, said that the measures had been taken for the safety of the students. The proctor also said that the measure was taken to prevent a tense situation from arising after university students assaulted security units at the university. A group of students who commenced a Satyagraha campaign calling on the Vice-Chancellor of the university to step down have not moved as yet. They threatened us over the phone. They have gone to our homes and issued threats. Therefore, it is clear that due to this problem, we cannot leave this place. Girls, boys, monks, thousands have gathered at the Sumangala building. Meanwhile, the police say that 13 students who had hindered internal security at the university from carrying out their duties have been identified. According to the police, statements had been recorded from these students and legal action will be taken against them. Meanwhile, the registrar of the Rajarata University, Vijita Disanayaka, said the premises of the Saliyapura Faculty of Medicine at the Rajarata University has been declared a prohibited zone for students until further notice. He said the measure has been taken on the direction of the Vice-Chancellor after all students at the premises of the faculty were evicted yesterday following a court order. A group of students at the faculty were suspended for disciplinary reasons and students had refrained from academic activities over the past several days, calling on the administration to nullify the suspension. Subsequently, a court order was obtained yesterday, forcing the students to leave the premises. Meanwhile, students of the medical faculty engaged in a protest today opposite the university. An investigation is underway into the damage and loss caused by the students. The expense will be levied from the students and the student groups responsible. I have already received reports that some students acted in an illegal manner. We have received evidence. Although the Vice-Chancellor of the Rajarata University expressed these views to us, we were unable to contact the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, Professor N.L.A. Karunaratna.
Meanwhile, these are some of the views expressed by various parties with regard to the conflict in universities.
Meanwhile, the United University Students Association, issuing a communique, stated that it is disappointed by the threat levelled at state universities by those who enjoy the benefits of free education with the aim of establishing private universities. The communique reads that the association condemns the explosion at the Sri Jayawardhanapura University and calls on the government to punish those responsible. Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Sajid Premadasa, says that the government should take immediate measures to resolve the problems of students at the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. Issuing a communique, he states that the breakdown in education across the country is a cause for disappointment. He states that no one who respects democracy would approve of students being forced onto the roads, dashing the expectations of their parents dedicated to their children's education. Premadasa states in the communique that the deploying of police, army and riot squads to the premises of the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura was a violation of student rights and raises questions regarding their safety and security. The communique issued by the Deputy Leader of the UNP also states that all parties responsible within the government have been given an opportunity to arrive at a decision regarding the Vice-Chancellor of the university, who has faced several allegations on various occasions. Sajid Premadasa is calling on responsible parties to expeditiously provide a solution to the crisis at the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. UNP parliamentarian Akhil Viraj Karyavasam expressed these views regarding the conflict in universities at a media briefing convened today. People tell us that this is happening because of the Vice-Chancellor's rule, the attacks he has made on the freedom of the university, and due to his acting like a policeman in most occasions. If this is such a huge problem and it continues, then the Vice-Chancellor must be removed and a new one must be appointed. If a student organization is exceeding its limits in demonstration, be it the Vice-Chancellor, it is wrong of them to assault lecturers and imprison them. This is not done. There is a limit that university students can go to as well. The JVP expressed these views regarding the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Sri Jawatanpura. This crazy person broke into the Bhikkhu hostel. The Bhikkhus asked him to wait until they have draped their robes and are prepared to receive him, but he breaks into the rooms. Is he not crazy? After that, he has gone into the girls' dormitories. What has happened here? Is that a Vice-Chancellor? There is a system of administration. Then he has taken pictures around the university, strapping a camera on his leg. He is crazy. The Vice-Chancellor grabs a camera and positions himself at the benches. In Parliament, Minister S.B. Disanayaka praised this Vice-Chancellor. They destroyed education.